Okay, this energy just keeps intensifying and intensifying and intensifying. And yes, today we have the beginnings of another major shift. This weekend we will have even more. We're standing on the edge of some very powerful moments for ourselves. And the pull to take some kind of bold action, it feels undeniable. Now, know that we can't just jump into it, okay? Bold action is probably the it's in the energy, yes, and I'll explain that more. But it's not like this energy is just going to hand us success. Okay? It's demanding something of us, something much deeper, something more. There needs to be some kind of change. Okay, this energy is the kind of energy that shakes us awake. And yeah, don't worry, don't get filled with anxiety or fear in my words here. Okay, we're going to be discussing this a lot more in a bit, and you'll understand it a lot more and how to utilize it more importantly. Okay, I think the most important thing to remember under this energy is don't rush it. Don't rush anything. Okay, yes, the power of transformation is here. Now, it is up to us to decide how we will face it, how we will move through it, how we will be the champions of our passions, our dreams, our desires, our goals. How we face it, yeah. It's a time to step into our power. So join me as we embark on a journey of self-discovery. We will gain an understanding of how to embrace this energy. And by the end of our time together here today, it's my hope that you have the insight, the tools to move forward with clarity, confidence, with love. So, hi, I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Thank you. Thank you truly for being here. Thank you for all of the positive, loving support you send me each and every day. I send it right back to you. Absolutely. Welcome to your daily focus, April the 25th, 2025. So we have the energy of the 25 today. 25 energy is success after great difficulty. So under a 25 energy, we want to look that fear, that anxiety, that limitation in the eye. We want to deal with it. And we know it's going to be difficult. We know it's going to be hard. We know that it'll feel very intense at times and overwhelming at times, but we're willing to do the difficult things we need to do in the now for the successes that are awaiting us, for the new paths that we want to step into, for the new goals and dreams and desires and passions to come to life. 2 plus 5 is the 7 energy. The 7 energy is about creating harmony, balance, love, beauty in our environments, but more importantly, within our relationships. And if we look at the daily numerology, we would have a 4 plus a 7 plus a 9, and that gives us a 20 energy. The 20 energy is the fork in the road, the crossroads of making decisions if we are going to stay in the same place, change things about ourselves, to understand that there are more pathways being opened to us right now. The possibilities are actually endless right now. And so we stand there at the crossroads, deciding, making the decisions, making the strategy, making the plan, understanding truly where our heart is trying to lead us, where our intuition is trying to lead us, where our gut feelings are taking us. What if we just allowed ourselves to go with the flow a little bit more and not prescript everything that we are doing and walking into? To take control of who you are becoming, to own, embrace your power. Anyways, I rambled a bit there. That's, but really when we're at a crossroads, that's what we're doing. So I guess I didn't, go off topic too much. 2 plus 0 is the 2. And yes, the 2 tells us that there is magic all around us, but we really need to understand the magic that is within us. Our talents, our abilities, yes, our unique self, but also, it is when you were in grade 3 and that art teacher came up to you and you thought you were doing the most beautiful portrait in the world, and they started laughing at it and telling us that we should never ever be an artist and we will never make money at it. Maybe we'd be better in the wood shop or something. And then everybody, all your friends were hearing it and they were pointing at it and they were making giggles and laughter and they were like making jokes about it and jokes about you. And you swore that day that you would never, never, ever maybe draw again, paint again. Maybe you thought you would do it, but you wouldn't share it with anybody. Nobody would ever see it. Nobody would ever be able to laugh at it again, to mock it. You were going to keep it safe, your secret. That's your magic. Okay, that was somebody who probably had a fight with their spouse before they came in and traffic was horrible and somebody hit bumped them in traffic and then took off, and then the bridge was up or the train was coming and the guards came down or whatever, and they got to class to teach you that day in a very foul mood. And they were looking at anybody to take it out on. And you know what? You just happened to be doing a good job. And they resented you for just being happy and being able to create and being able to go with the flow and allowing your true expression to come out. And so they gave you an opinion. And you took it as the truth. So, I think especially the energy that we are walking into, the 2 energy is about seeing the magic within us, but perhaps it's just time to allow ourselves, give ourselves permission to show it to the world, to share it with the world, to allow it to be a part of who you are going forward. And who cares, okay? I've told you several months in a row now. Okay, the dreams can be off the wall, crazy insanity. Oh my gosh, who would even think of doing that kind of energy? Because you're being called to do just that. And it's believing in yourself and not letting other people's opinion become your truth going forward. That you declare what is the truth in your world. Sun is in Taurus. Moon is in Pisces. And Mars opposite Pluto will actually be tomorrow, will be exact, but it's already kind of setting exact. It has been kind of exact for several days. It will be until we go into May. Sometime in May, I think it breaks up. I don't think it's like May 1st or anything, maybe May 7th or something. So this energy is with us for a while, and it's with us for very good reason. And we're going to get to all that. I don't want to jump ahead. But I can tell you that this is an energy we cannot ignore. It's raw, it's intense, and it's calling us to act. Okay? But first, we have to face some deep truths. I know. Doesn't it sound like a broken record? Okay, Mars is the planet of action. It wants us to move. It wants us to make bold decisions, bold steps forward, to take charge. Pluto, on the other hand, Pluto's not so much about rushing ahead. Pluto is asking us to face our power struggles, face the resistance, and understanding the roots of our habits, our desires, our actions. This opposition is asking us to stop and check in with ourselves. What are we really fighting for? What's most important to us? What is driving us forward? What is the passion? What is the dream? What is the goal? And this energy is not about pushing harder. I don't want to give you the wrong, like you have to be this really bold. It is about confronting stuff, but confronting stuff that we have been avoiding or maybe not even seeing. And facing some of the darkest corners of our soul, if need be. Break through the wall that you have built around yourself. Okay, it's kind of like we feel pushed or we're being pulled. We have a desire, and it's almost urgent at this point. We're so tired of meditating and journaling and going within and making the plan and making the strategy. And then all of a sudden we can take a little jump and then we got to pull back again, think it through again. And this is what this energy has been, teeter-totter all the way through since the beginning of 2025. And it did start in 2024. We all know that. So we have a desire to move forward, to take control, to make things happen. Okay, Mars is pulling at us with that, well, Mars is in Leo, that fiery energy. And the call to take action is loud. And that is what most people will hear. So don't be surprised when you are being pulled into arguments and confrontations and people are just angry and they're very decisive in their steps and they don't care if it's right or wrong and we'll see a lot of that in the world. Okay, luckily we're understanding the energy. Okay, because Pluto is pulling us in a different direction completely, and Pluto is asking us to look at our fears, to look deeper into them. We are at a crossroads. Do we charge ahead? Do we pause? Do we dig in to find out what really needs to be healed within us? Transformed within us? Released? So, inner conflict? Absolutely. Oh, look at that. We got the devil there at the bottom of all of this. What are we tethered to? Pluto asks us to do the inner work before we take that next step. And it's intense, yeah. And it can feel very overwhelming, absolutely. And the battle between the urge to act now, which is the urge we'll all be feeling. But there will also be a need to reflect, to transform, to break free from the past in some way. And Mars is giving us the courage to take that first step. And Pluto teaches us that those steps need to come from a place of clarity and purpose. And, you know, I research a lot of this. I have been doing astrology for 10 years, but I've taken some courses on it. I have a very hard time until everything kind of just clicked. But I had to give it a lot of energy in order for things to click. So I listened to all the great astrologers and try and soak up as much information they're giving me and teaching me so that next time I see that transit, I can just tell you without having to rely on somebody to really explain everything to me. And I was listening to Rick Levine. And I think it was I think he calls it Firestorm, this one. And so he was talking about the Mars-Pluto opposition. Okay, and he put it like, we can't rush through this. We can't force our destiny to be here in a snap of the fingers. Okay? And he equated it to the butterfly. And he said, first, with Pluto, it's about death and rebirth. So we all know that the caterpillar must die in order for the butterfly to be birthed. And so in some ways, you know, we are the caterpillar right now. And we want to be that butterfly, but it takes growth and it takes work. And when we are inside of that cocoon and we feel our wings and we start pumping them, so feeling our confidence and building that confidence and that strength and that courage and that love for yourself on a daily basis and pumping those wings. If we were to go and cut that cocoon open for that butterfly, it would never be able to fly. So we can't rush it. We can't take shortcuts. If it sounds too good to be true, chances are it is. We have to work our wings. So what happens is the blood pumps into the wings and makes them stronger and stronger. They eventually rip open that cocoon and go and forth as the butterfly, free and liberated. So there is a lot about death and rebirth happening around us right now. And I don't mean literal death, okay? I mean the death of something. Maybe it's a bad habit. Maybe it's an old belief or an old truth or an old story that you tell yourself. And allowing that part of you to fall away so that you can step into the rebirth of who you are, to become the phoenix rising out of the ashes, And don't forget about the bowl shape for the chart, right? The chart, it's in a bowl shape, and it has been in a bowl shape since what, February or something? I think it was a locomotive for a little bit there in February, and then it went to a bowl. But anyways, we won't go back into all that because we've discussed that at length back in February. So where most of the planets are is in Pisces and Aries right now. And Pisces is about the endings, the completions, the last moments of the zodiac. And Aries is the birth, the rebirth, where we feel confident, where we have come through all of that closure in our life to feel free and liberated and the independent and wanting to be the trailblazer, wanting to go forward with the strength. So, and like I said, this energy is going to last. Right now, we have the moon where? In Pisces, of all places right now. And guess what's going to happen? We're going to have a new moon in Taurus. And we are also going to have the moon move into Aries, the rebirth. So, yeah, when I say it's important right now to take your time, to not rush things. Mars opposite Pluto is a very powerful transit. And I believe this is the third of three. One happened early December, one happened early January. And this is kind of like the final part of it. This is when we make the decisions. This is when we see those new pathways, those new opportunities, those new learning experiences, those new relationships, those new quests and passions and goals that we set for ourselves. But in order to become the butterfly, in order to have that rebirth of who we are and really go forward in a new light, we have to go through some internal, probably more so than external conflicts, but internal and external. Yeah, absolutely. Bringing those conflicts to the surface. And it is about asserting our power. And it is about transforming a limiting belief. Breaking free from an old pattern that is holding us back. This energy says, it invites us to confront our deepest fears, our deepest anxieties, and start making the strategic action plan to reshape our life. So use this time to start to empower yourself. Face what truly needs change in your life. And step into your new reality with a confidence and a determination. Okay, let's go to the cards. Oh, who is it? My goodness, I'm sorry. Your name escapes me right now, but you said you missed your opportunity in love. Well, I wouldn't be so sure about that, okay? I heard, when I read that, I heard right away, let's not just rush into those final decisions right now. Of what has been and what has been lost. Seven of Swords comes up. When is the last time we saw the Seven of Swords? The Seven of Swords is about not... First, I would have to kind of warn you. Be careful who you're sharing your story with. Your plans with. I mean, this is an energy where people will claw over top of us to get to the top rung. To be the first at the top of the mountain. So I am going to put this story in because we haven't seen this card in quite some time. And I know I have lots of new viewers that have probably not heard the story yet. But you and your buddy are in the elevator. It's Monday morning. You're going up to the shop and you say to your buddy, I had an awesome idea on how to raise productivity in the shop. And you go on to tell them all about it. And they're like, oh, yeah, and what about this? And what about that? Have you thought about this? Oh, that's great. That's a great plan. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to hit the washroom. And then I'm going to be in. And I'm going to go right to the boss and present this to them. Wish me luck. Oh, good luck, man. You've got this. What a great idea. And by the time you have gone to the washroom and you come back, you see that friend from the elevator shaking hands with the boss because they just sold your idea and are taking all the credit for it. This is the kind of stuff that can happen. Or people are using your words and twisting them and taking them out of context so they can start a little bit of gossip about you. Why? Because that tears you down a little bit, so that automatically raises them up a little bit. And they were the one who had the scoop. People who may criticize you, punch holes in your dreams. We want to stay away from those kinds of people. We want to get around like-minded people. We want to look at how we can step into things that will bring us security and safety and joy and a sense of freedom, a sense of liberation, a sense of confidence, self-love perhaps. Also, this is a card that tells us that we have to really understand what we are taking forward with us. So, we can't take everything. We never can take everything. Things must fall away so that there is space for the new things to come in. Absolutely. So here we are when we are picking up these swords because we are preparing to follow our strategy and go forward. And we need those swords maybe as protection. And even though that sword looks very difficult on how we're trying to pick it up, we walked by two of them. We're just standing right upright. We could have grabbed those easily. But maybe we have to struggle a little bit more to really take with us what we need to take with us. And to let go of some of the things that just don't have value in our life anymore. We want to release our burdens, release all the things that we are doing. And yes, we are still in a time when we can overpromise to people. So be careful about that. Nine of Cups. When's the last time we saw the Nine of Cups? I like how this energy is changing for us. But it's very, we got two minor arcana here, so I'm going to say it's more about our free will and our decisions. And if we sit there and we don't make a decision, guess what? You made a decision by doing that. The Nine of Cups is about your dreams. Wishes fulfilled is what this card stands for. Are we willing? Are we willing to do the work necessary? To step into the fire so that we can transform, to allow who we were to be let go in some ways so that we can step into the new version we are becoming of ourselves. The more confident you, the happier you, the more courageous you. So this is about wishes and dreams fulfilled. This is our first card. This is saying this is what we desire. This is what we're asking for. So if you have some kind of bucket list or something, or a wish list, or you've got it written out of what your plans are, you've actually started writing your chapter, this is the day to concentrate on that. To understand what we're truly asking to come into our life. And understanding, is this what I truly want? And is this what I truly desire? Will I be committed to it? Can I be committed to it? Do I have the time or the energy or the resources necessary? Sun is in Taurus, so we're very grounded. Saturn is still hanging out with Venus and still hanging out with the North Node, giving us the structure. Knight of Wands. This is no man's land. This is, we have come to a certain point in our path where we dismount from our stallion and we get on our hands and knees. And first of all, we give thanks that we're here. We're here in the now. That we have experienced accomplishments, strengths, knowledge. We have grown our confidence. We have grown our self-love. We have grown our, being able to take a risk on ourselves. We have grown ourselves in new ways. We have accomplishments the things that we have done. And we give thanks that we're in the here and now. And then the second part of this card is giving thanks for what you already have around you. Seeing things maybe not as a liability as much as a very positive influence in your life. You're sitting there and you're saying, well, I get stuck doing the dishes every night. Nobody gives me a hand. Wow. That means you had a family around the table? That you exchanged stories and laughs and maybe even made a new memory that night? Or, wow, I got to put more gas in this tank. That means you have a destination. That means you have a place to go. And that means that you have enough money in your pocket to actually do it, even though you don't want to. Who wants to pay any kind of bill, right? So often we look at things in our life as a liability instead of the miracles they truly are in our life. And miracle is probably the wrong word, but I'm not getting the word that. Anyways, third part of this card is asking for a straight path forward, for knowledge to be infused within you, sage wisdom, for you to have the courage, the strength, the confidence to go forward, the clarity to go forward, to walk a straight path, to have the endurance or the time or the energy or the resources when you need them to be there. And giving thanks that you know that all of that will be provided to you. That's when we get back on the stallion. That's when we ride forward. So once again, we're not rushing anything. And the Eight of Wands, infinite possibilities. Infinite possibilities. All these wands are going to shoot off into the sky and they're going to land on different places on the horizon. And we need to keep watch because that is where we're being called. That is where we're being led. That is where we feel we need to take the next step. Okay, we'll go to my messy deck here. I don't know how it got so messy. Nature's Whispers. Well, this deck is often very, very, very good for either bringing up something that I didn't spend enough time on or I didn't mention at all, but it usually paraphrases me, which I kind of get a kick out of because I babble for like 20 minutes, and it sums it up in a paragraph for you guys. What do we have? Leap of faith, the 22 energy. 22 energy, strongest number in numerology, master number 22. You start putting your dedication, your focus, your actions towards your dreams, your goals, that promise that you made to yourself, and watch things come together. Oh my goodness, leap of faith. Leap of faith. See this as a chance to create something wonderful. You are in a transition period where you need to draw your faith, your intuition, your knowledge, and take the leap. And you will not fail. You have a safety net of support in place. You will overcome your fear. You will find a beautiful outcome is on the horizon. This leap of faith is the best course of action at this time. If you do make a mistake, you have the ability to try again and learn from what didn't work the first time. All signs indicate that if you just trust, you will succeed. So jump headfirst into the void of the unknown. And even if you eventually fall, for a while, you will soar. Knowing that we do have to go through the Pisces energy, we do have to experience the new moon, that we do have time to really think about what holds me back, what is my fear, and how do I move forward from that fear? How do I tear down that wall? How do I break through that glass ceiling? And we will get our higher intuitions. And I'm not trying to play this energy down. It will be intense. It will be overwhelming at times. Okay, you've got this because you were aware of the energy. Okay, you're not going to be one of those people that just because you're on the edge of something wonderful, you're going to just jump both feet into it. And so many people will and trip themselves up. What matters most to you? What is the dream? Crystal clear, the hummingbird. And yes, the clarity is more and more each and every day. So the hummingbird. I was looking at my hummingbird feeders today. Gotta get them ready. Okay, here we are. Goals, positive, happiness, hover, clarity. As you become more clear about who you really are, you'll be better able to decide what is the best for you the first time around. So, I think I skipped words there. As you become more clear about who you really are, you'll be better able to decide what is best for you the first time around. So hummingbird tells us that it's essential to have crystal clear and concrete goals before taking action. So write down exactly what you want to achieve, your plans, your ultimate goals, and you should be clear about your action steps in order to reach your goal. It's then that you can see with clarity how you can reach your goal and become motivated in doing so. A positive attitude is a prerequisite if you wish to live a fulfilling life. It's when you believe in yourself, when you set a vision and you put wings on your dreams, that your life begins to feel purposeful. Hummingbird is filled with magic and love and wants you to know that not everything is supposed to make sense. You'll feel much better, much happier, more loved, and motivated if you allow yourself to focus on the good in your life and all around you, rather than looking at the bad. Hummingbirds can do what most birds can't. They hover. So take a lesson from their abilities and just hover over your issues before making a drastic decision. Find like-minded and positive people to engage with. And this is a good way of motivating yourself. And you know what? While I was reading that, a story popped into my head. So I'm going to share the story. I think it's from Chicken Soup of the Soul or something. A woman was blind. And on her bucket list was she wanted to see a rainbow. And I don't know what the circumstances were, but one day the doctor said she was eligible for a surgery that would allow her to see. And so she had the surgery. And so the first night, I mean, she can see things, and then finally she's home and she's doing the dishes, and she had a whole bunch of bubbles fly up. And she says like 100 bubbles flew up in the air, and inside of every single bubble was a rainbow. Not only did she see one, she saw hundreds of them in like a couple of seconds. So when you start your dreams and wanting your dreams, yes, you can say, I want to see a rainbow. But really, you'll probably end up seeing at least 100 all at once. So expect, don't hope, don't wish, but expect your successes to start showing up, coming into your life, or at least the tools to walk towards that success. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.